Well, like she said, don't have it out with him directly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm gonna leave him alone now. He said something, I'll just go about my business.
Yeah, I would just ignore him and go in your apartment or do whatever you're doing. So what else is going on?
Not much.
How are things at work?
Good. They did a nice study.
Yeah. I talked to Bob a little bit, because I only see Chris briefly in the morning now, but attendance is always good with Chris. He comes to work. The work he does is good. Got good attention to detail. The only problems we've ever had with Chris, the video camera comes to work a couple of days. We asked him not to do that, and it stopped. He's always willing to jump in on any job and help out no matter what it is. So honestly, you can't ask for a whole lot more. He just comes in, does his thing, does what he has, goes home. I'm trying to get the information from Bob to try to run the time study to see where we're at. And Bob has a meeting with, I think it's a mortgage company today, or with the refinancing the house. And I didn't catch him before he went into the meeting, so I didn't get the numbers for everything yet.
Oh, okay. So, but the time study's done.
This time study is finished now, yeah. I just have to plug everything in and send everything to payroll tomorrow morning. And I explained to Chris that the way, generally what happens, and I don't understand why, because we send it through a payroll company, but the wage rate goes through first, and they can't just say, okay, you started on this date to this date. I have to actually go through, add up all the hours, show the calculations, send it to them, and for some reason it takes another pay period to get the back pay on everything. It's kind of frustrating. It seems to me, you've got the stuff in a safety computer, all you have to do is hit a button to get it, but
sounds easy.
But I've got Kristen actually trying to pull all the information together for all the guys out there so we can get them all done and try to get them in. I have until tomorrow afternoon to get them in and get them on the next show. The wage rate will go in, but I don't know if all of the back pay will. It'd be a lot easier if we did our own.
So the next paycheck might reflect that kind of next one will be in 2 weeks.
Right,
It'll be on the 26th.
26, yeah.
Okay, so you already know about all that.
We talked about it briefly on the bus today as he was leaving.
Everybody knows what's going on now.
Yeah. I try to stop and let them know what's going on as far as the different things. Because again, I don't see them every day. So if they're there, I try to jump up on the bus and talk to them just to let them know what's going on. But that way, you know, if there's an issue, hopefully I'll hear about it soon.
Okay, so no other issues with payroll or anything?
No. We had the one problem with the state, and that was a fiasco, but end of year, so what we did is we went to 2-week billing. So it's not an issue.
And transportation has been fine?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I don't know if it's been fine. We need to add another bus, and we're in the process of that. That's something that sticks in my craw, but you haven't had any problems with them not picking you up on time or anything like that?
No. One thing I don't understand is, why can't I ride that to work?
Right, what?
That's right. What's the
To
deal?
Charlie's Dodge?
Yeah, what's the deal with it not being...
It's a liability issue. They want...
What's the liability? Where's that going to...
That Charlie's Dodge is afraid that if something happens when you're there, that you can sue them, and it's happened. They've been
Like
sued.
if my property gets damaged?
Or if you damage their property, yeah.
Oh.
What happens if you're riding your bike and somebody hits you on their property? They can get sued for it, and that's the deal breaker for them. Companies now are not, they're more worried about getting sued by somebody than actually getting the work done in most cases.
And you're not technically a Charlie's Dodge employee, you're an
You're an employee of mine.
Now, if I just work there regularly, they would be okay.
Yeah.
Just because of the state. That's why.
It's because they're worried about, if you were their employee, you'd be on their cost, your payroll would be charged to them, so they would have insurance over you. I have insurance over you, but my insurance only covers certain things. Where his business's insurance would have to cover the rest, and he doesn't want to pay for that. 9 times out of 10, Chris, it always comes down to money and what it's going to cost too. It doesn't really, sometimes it doesn't seem to make sense, but somebody's always worried about losing money somewhere. And we're trying to protect Charlie's job so that we can continue to have a site there long term.
Understandable.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to lose that contract.
Same deal, no one can even drive there.
Right. Yeah, so it's not just you when you're illustrating, it's everybody.
We had a young man drive there when we were there with Rem back into a car.
Really? What happened after that? Someone got sued or?
Well, they got a new car that they can't sell as new now because it had that body work done on it.
Really?
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, they took a car that was probably $35,000 and they had to sell it for $10,000 less because it's no longer a new car.
And that's one person screwed it all up for everybody.
It's always one person that screws it up for everybody, man.
And you don't want to be that one person.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't want to be booed at work. So.
Everything at work is good. Transportation is good. So, how does the transportation work? They get picked up, but they go to the bar.
They go to Woodville right now.
Woodville.
And then from there they go over to Charlie's house. They all collect there and come in. I want to get back. I don't know how much you remember about what we did at Rem. Rem, each site was self-contained. So if you had a site and it had, like Charlie's, you got, what do you got, 10 people out there?
Something like that, yeah. Or Charlie's?
Yeah.
No, it was about 6 or 7 of us.
Okay. So Bob would go out, pick them up in the morning, bring them in, work with them, and then take them home. That way, if there's an issue, like if there's a UI, I'm not getting secondhand information from a bus driver, I'm getting it from the person who's been with them all day. The biggest problem I have with UIs is trying to piece together what really happened. And if each one has its own pick-up and drop-off, so it's the same person all the time, it just eliminates the problem. I mean, we had an accusation, again, with Rem, where a young lady said she was touched by somebody. That's a big deal. Well, after we got into it, because we had consistency on who picked them up and worked with them when we got there, it turned out it was a dating thing that had gone wrong, and she was angry. But you still have to treat it as if it's the real thing, because everybody deserves that kind of protection. But we would have never known that if there hadn't been consistency in who was picking them up. Because they would only got, right, you would only got part of the story from 2 different people. We'd have probably still got to it, but, you know, just as serious as it happening is making the accusation, because all of a sudden now we're looking at somebody else as someone who's potentially, you know, severely broken the law. So that's what we're shooting for. It's just with us starting up again, just haven't been able to put it all together yet.
How many crews do you have that go out to Charlie's house?
I just have one crew right now. I think it's 9 people assigned there, because that's pretty much the limit Charlie's wants for us. They gave us what we call equivalencies. They gave us 9 equivalencies. And because of where they live on different parts of town, we just bring them together one point and then take them home. Sometimes in order to get there, we have to drive past, you know, we may drive past somebody's house on a given day because they got to pick somebody else up. It's just, right now, logistically, it's a nightmare for us. And we're spending probably $800 a week in gas.
How many different rings do you have doing it?
Only 2. If I had a third van, I'll probably save $900 to $1,000 a month just in fuel. But we didn't, like I told Chris, we didn't plan on starting Charlie's until the beginning of October. And they came to us, what, 2 months early?
Yeah.
And said, we need you now. I couldn't tell them.